Look, I love technology. I use it every day. It enhances my quality of life, allows me to do what I love, to connect with the people I love, and overall, I find a lot of happiness through it. But I can also struggle with technology and oftentimes find it all-consuming. I use it to procrastinate, it can inhibit my sleep, sometimes I find it disconnecting my relationships, and I'm not super comfortable knowing how much time I spend on it. And I feel like there are a lot of people who claim that technology is ruining our lives and that social media is just a horrible place. And sure, some of this may be true, but our reality is also that technology and social media are in our lives. And for a lot of us, they are very involved in our lives. I've always been fairly conscious of my screen use and constantly try to rectify something when it becomes a negative. So today I wanted to share with you some little tips that I implement every day into my life to manage my technology use, my social media consumption, and just overall screen time. Okay, so firstly, this may seem like the most basic and obvious tip, but it has truthfully made the biggest impact on my life in this regard. Stop bringing your phone everywhere with you. It's not another limb. You can leave it in another room. It doesn't always have to come with you to the bathroom or the kitchen. I almost always leave my phone on this one bench at home. I never carry it around the house with me. When I'm working, I leave it on this bench, and if I really need to check it, I can actually get up and walk the 5 meters. But by not having it next to me, it stops that initial procrastination or checking urge that I get. And when I go out, I will often just leave it in the car. But yes, sure, there are gonna be times, and there are times in my life where I need to bring my phone with me, carry it around with me for a while, or simply leave it next to me. And that is where my second tip comes in: airplane mode. I love this feature. I use it all the time, and anyone that knows me can really back me up on this. Every night before I go to bed, I turn my phone on airplane mode. Then when I wake up in the morning, I leave it on until after breakfast so I can at least start my day without screens. You can always just use do not disturb mode instead, which is a great tool to limit distractions, but I love airplane mode specifically because it also lessens the amount of bad energy that's being emitted from the phone. All right, on to tip number 3, disconnecting from the internet. Probably the thing that I love most about technology is how it enables me to do what I love, which is creating content. But of course, there's a flip side to this where it also provides an endless number of distractions for me to get distracted by. So sometimes I just need to disconnect myself from distraction world and focus on deep work, getting into the flow. I don't have Wi-Fi at home, so for this I just remove my Ethernet cord, but when I am in Wi-Fi, I just turn it off. When I do this, I also make sure to just keep my phone away from me so I don't turn to that instead. The reason I included this tip was because when I do take this step and disconnect myself from the internet, almost every single time I find that it's so much easier for me to get into the zone and get into that flow, and I finish my tasks so much faster than normal. On the same kind of wavelength as this, I also look for opportunities to connect with people rather than a screen. One of the main marketing tools for our devices is how they increase connection and connectedness. And I think this is only partly true. We also live in a world where many of our meals are with a screen rather than another person, or it's multiple people with multiple screens. But there are so many moments throughout the day where we do have the option to connect with someone in the real world rather than a screen. I do always look to have a meal with someone, even if I am just at home. But if I am out, I don't just walk up to a random person, sit down and start eating with them. But I could. That's another great reason to pop your phone away. But here's a revelation. Instead of sitting down and eating by yourself on a screen, why not just stop and put it down and have a look at the world around you? Simply enjoy being in your own company. I really like to do this, and I find it actually quite recharging. So if you haven't yet been inspired to get off your screens and you're still here, Welcome to tip number 5, setting boundaries for myself. I don't know if your parents ever did this, but my mum used to never let me watch TV first thing in the morning. So now I kind of implement the same rule for myself because, you know, I'm an adult and I have discipline and stuff for that kind of thing. So I don't check any social media until after I'm ready to get into work for the day, and I have my screen leisure time after dinner. Okay, so on to tip number 6, a super quick, easy and simple one. I have do not disturb on my computer on constantly. This habit actually carried over from my 30 days without technology experiment. And the reason it carried over was because I really liked not being ripped out of a task every time a notification came into my line of sight. And because of this, I don't get as distracted as often. Every notification is like a test of your willpower to see if you can resist checking or replying. So I just like to cut that off right at the source. And finally, I don't use my phone in bed. I know a lot of people do, and if you are in this habit, it might be a little bit tricky to get out of and it might take some time. The only time I really ever used my phone in bed was when I used to have to play this little game before I went to bed at night just to switch my brain off, because otherwise I always really struggled to fall asleep. But again, with that 30 days without technology experiment that I did a few months ago, I had to stop that habit and I haven't picked it up since, and now I really don't need to play that game anymore. I think it's really easy to get sucked into the world of our phones, especially when it is at nighttime, we're in bed and we don't have any other prior engagements to hold our attention. So it's really easy to just turn to our phone, and before we know it, we're just sucked into this world and way too much time has passed. And in terms of my mornings, whenever I did used to wake up and check my phone while I was still in bed straight away, which thankfully I haven't done for years, I always felt really groggy and just bleh afterwards when I finally pulled myself out of it. It was like I had let the outside world in way too quickly and things were already influencing me, and I just didn't feel good. I think our mornings and nights are really crucial times of the day. The former sets our day's tone and the latter wraps it up. So I really like to keep those times protected. And my bed is my boundary for that. Okay, so that wraps this video up. Thank you so much for watching. I am really excited that you have watched this video and that you are going against the grain a bit by watching it. You know, you're putting your beliefs, yourself and your needs first by taking a step back from technology and just acknowledging its place, but it doesn't need to totally consume us. So yeah, I'm just really excited that you're here with me. I upload new videos every Thursday and a vlog every Monday/Tuesday, and I really can't wait to see you on the next one. If there's anything else that you'd like me to cover, whether that's in the form of phones and technology, that kind of thing, or really any other self-improvement topic or things that I share on this channel, please let me know. I will be more than happy to create a video for you, and I'd love to create a video for you. So yeah, just let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.